Hmm. Okay, Sarina, please continue.
Yes, almost.
Yes,
So
almost.
I was just comparing it in my mind the how much can someone be very concentrated, so completely with the mind um, on one. I wanted to say one object, but joy is not even an object. It is without anything. It is just a sense. So in case concentrating deeply on that, as far as I understand, also as you speak, but without having any expectation and without forgetting your own self. So sometimes can be, for example, that we forget. You go and you get your joy from drinking too much, for example. So then you're full of forgetting. How to say? Forgetful, yes. You remember nothing. Yeah, just an example, and you don't remember your body and so on. But in case intense joy, good joy, like this lady had, and she was fully absorbed in that. But I guess, and now I'm thinking maybe she was also not very conscious because of herself, because if she was, then she would not step on the devotee mat. Yes, and devotee, I think.
Actually,
Yeah.
yes, you are also very right, and Linus also we have very good feedback, but therefore asking this kind of things, this kind of topics, it means the woman, the girl, she was fully concentrated about joy, but joy is not objective. Joy is a joy is not objective. Objective is because of her lover, she going to enjoy, right? Because her beloved is the objective. She is the subjective. Joy is the state between. But the joy has no objective. The joy has no subjective. But objective, who is that? How can he enjoy that? Because of her beloved, right? So she was fully concentrated on her beloved. Okay? Because of beloved, she going to joyful. It means she not really joyful. It means she not herself, right? You are correct also, Janius. She not herself there. She want to enjoy. She want to be joyful because of her beloved going to meet, right? And when she going to meet that her beloved, then her beloved is constant about God. So right. So her beloved, he giving more importance to the God, but not to her. But she give more importance to her beloved, not herself, not the God, nothing. So she is fully concentrated her joy. But joy is not objective. But when she work out, the objective is not no more love to me. So she was so surprised because she loved him, but he did not love her. So even small steps can disturb him. So here what happening? The joy. So how can change such kind of perceptions? Then how can meditate this? This is very interesting that step by the step, experience recreate the mind until you actually begin to relieve it. The only difference is that joy is felt is the absence of object. So when person she feel joy before she feel joy, she imagine that object. But it was absence object, she felt the joy. But when she enter that place, she work out that joy for her is no more there. So what they have to do? The only difference is that this joy is felt in the absence of object or person who originally caused. Right? The cause of joy of her because of that boy, that man. Right? But when very beginning, there is no objectives. The only difference is that the joy is felt in the absence of object. The person who originally caused it. You get me now? See, already she feels full of love, full of joy. But absence of that object, very beginning. But when she met, because of the cause, which that the cause? Cause is the man, but that is not present there. Very beginning of the joy. But when she meet that joyful, right? When she meeting that is the man who is responsible for her joy, then he is disturbed. Right? This is the story. Yes or no? No, you did not understand.
I understood, but what I'm reading from the story, from the book, and how you describe the story, almost a bit like two different stories, I think, for me.
How?
How? Because I understand from reading that these two people, the young girl and the devotee, this is not the lovers. So she has a lover that she's going to secretly meet. So she's concentrated on him. And while she's going to meet him, the secret lover, she accidentally stepped over a devotee who was praying, who was in deep meditation. And he was disturbed, so he chased after the lady. And then the lady woke up from her deep concentration on her beloved that she was going to meet. And she felt surprised, so she apologized. But then also here she's saying, but she also expressed her surprise that he could be so easily distracted when thinking of his Lord, whereas she was so deeply immersed in the memory of her lover that she did not even notice him or his mat. So she compared how much she was concentrated on her beloved and how much he was concentrated on his beloved, the Lord.
No. So here you can go to read again the story. She was so concentrated to meet her lover, but she did not notice that her beloved who praying to the Lord, same man is the devotee of Lord who praying on the mat, and that is her beloved. If I understand correctly this.
Okay,
You see that?
But they don't say in the book this, I think.
No. Here you just read it again. Look. She stopped for a minute and listened to the devotee who was shouting, I was immersed in the prayers to my Lord, and you dared to step on my mat and break my meditation. When she heard that, the girl apologized for her behavior. When she heard that, what that means? The girl apologized for her behavior, but she also expressed her surprise that he could be so easily distracted when thinking of his Lord, the man, whereas he was so deeply immersed in the memory of her lover, whereas she was deeply immersed in the memory of her lover, and she did not even notice him or his mat. Just let go forward. But if I'm clear this, of course, she want to meet her beloved. She running through this. She was step over the mat of the devotee, but she was fully concentrated only. But here what happened? Again, you have to read a little bit very beginning. They say the young girl never even saw him and continued to walk on. But the man ran after her in a rage, yelling that she had rudely disturbed his prayers. On hearing someone shouting behind her, the girl turned around and noticed him for the first time. She was quite surprised when she heard his accusations, as she was so immersed in the thoughts of her beloved that she was immersed in thoughts of her beloved that she did not even know she had disturbed him. All the while she had been remembering her lover and the joy she had felt when she looked into his eyes, speaking sweet and tender words to him. So enamours was that the simple could not wait to see him once again. She stopped for a minute and listened to the devotee who was shouting, and I was immersed in prayers to my Lord, and you dare to step on my mat and break my meditation. When she heard that, the girl apologized for her behavior, but she also expressed her surprise that he could be so easily disturbed that when thinking of his Lord, whereas she was deeply immersed in the memory of her lover, and she did not even notice him or his mat. This story emphasizes that the quality of remembrance in the paramount not so much object remembrance, but even remembrance of a joyful meeting with someone you love intensively can take you to sublime heights. In this dharana, the focus is on the feeling of joy, which is an emotions, it has no form. So in order to focus on joy, what exactly are you do? First of all, you have to remember the joy you feel, that almost clarity. Step by step, that experience is reacted. Yes, can be understandable. But then where she met her beloved? Where the story goes? Now, Jenya, now tell me this. Okay, I may agree with you after study this. But where she went to meet her beloved?
She didn't. The story doesn't say that she met. She only met and came across the devotee. The story doesn't tell us that she met a beloved. The story is there just to emphasize that the concentration of a joy and a joyful experience can take you to the sublime heights. So her concentration was more sublime than the sublime of the devotee, because he was enraged. If he was deeply immersed, would be deeply concentrated and immersed, yeah, that's the word, for the love of his Lord, then he would open the eyes and see this lady as the Lord. But he didn't.
Let me think. Linus?
The story goes she was going to meet her lover on the marketplace. And on the way to the marketplace, she stepped on the mat of a devotee. So this is the story on her way. She's not yet with her lover on the marketplace. The story is just on the way to the marketplace, and she is so immersed into her thoughts, of her feelings, and these thoughts are so strong. Her thoughts or her concentration on the feeling is stronger than the concentration of that sadhu or devotee. That is the story. That's why she was surprised. The girl is surprised that the devotee is not so concentrated. If he was fully immersed in thoughts of his Lord, he wouldn't even have noticed that the girl has stepped on his mat. Just like the girl did not notice that she has stepped on the mat. And if the sadhu was so immersed in his meditation, he would not have noticed that the girl had stepped on his mat.
then where then how one can meditate here?
This was says that the quality of the dharana, the quality of the imagination, it's a strong quality, and that of the devotee who was meditating, his dharana was not so strong quality. Maybe he was focusing first, I'm focusing on my breath and then on my Lord, and like this. And the girl was, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, you know, and she thinks of nothing else, and it's a very strong one-pointedness. And you could say she was not herself, she did not notice, but in meditation you have to be aware. But when I am really deep in meditation, I don't feel my body anymore, like my legs fall asleep. And when I stop my meditation, I feel my legs are numb when I become again aware of my body. And that devotee meditating on his mat, on the way of the girl, his meditation wasn't so deep. His meditation wasn't so deep, that why he could notice the girl stepping on his mat. And the girl was very deep in her feelings, very deep, much in love with her lover. So she did not see not the mat on the of that devotee, the other people, not the cars, bicycles, and honks and shoutings. And yes, that's it. She was going to the market, and on her way to the market, she stepped on the mat of that sadhu or devotee.
So it means she was in one-pointedness, right? And she forget the roads, mats, the whatever. Because before I was thinking, no, it is also correct this way. I'll say that Jenny also already. So she could not actually, the story does not go further, but it is only showing that she was so much one-pointedness. So she can't see nothing except her the beloved, her lover, right? So the man who meditate on the mats, he have no one-pointedness to the God, because he easily could be disturbed by someone. Yes. So then she was surprised. If a man who meditate on the God, and he can easily disturb, but she was not disturbed. She said, I'm very sorry for that if I step over on you. So it means the young girl, she was fully one-pointedness, but not the man. So it means the dharana showing that. So when we are one-pointedness, we may forget all aspect of our body, because we see that joy, we see that bliss, or we see that our soul or spirit, right? If I understand correctly.
Yes. Yes.
Then, and such a like the girl, she running to the market, she can't see nothing on the way. She only saw her beloved. Such kind of one-pointedness, if we meditate, then we can reach the supreme consciousness, right? And if we are meditate, and maybe we are meditate, we are joy, but generally we are not one-pointedness. So that if we are enjoying everything, but we are not one-pointedness, like a person who meditate on the mat, and he actually not one-pointedness. He may enjoying the meditation, but he's not fully one-pointedness. The girl is enjoying every moment. So she was fully concentrated, right? So in this sutra say that the girl can reach to the supreme consciousness. The person who meditated on the mat, he can reach to the supreme consciousness, right? If I understand correctly, final.
Yes, it says so, but it says about the quality of the object of meditation, the feeling as an object, not the person causing the feeling. Because I also think of my children when they watch TV. I cannot talk to them. I say, hello, hello, I want to talk to you. And they just watch the TV, Walt Disney, Cinderella. And I cannot talk now, hello, I want to talk to you. And it's not the same as meditation. They would have, as little children, they would have reached enlightenment. And also when I read a book or watch TV, I notice things going on around me. Also when I meditate, I hear the clock ticking. But this is like, this girl is in love. She's one-pointed, yes, and the children watching TV, they're one-pointed, they just see the TV. They don't hear the mother, they don't hear me, they hear nothing. But it's not meditation. It's not, it's a different quality or different kind of one-pointedness. It's like, you know, when you meditate, you're always aware of your breath. For example, children watching TV, they're not aware of their breath. But on some way, mechanically, they are one-pointed, because even when I shout, they do not hear me, because they just see the television. And I wonder, this is like everybody singing, dancing could reach Kundalini. It's different, yeah. It's not the same. Watching TV, being immersed, thinking of your lover, or something like that.
Exactly. So here is the another clarification comes. See, maybe if I understand correctly, the sutras, and we need to have one-pointedness for our objectives, but it has to be clarity of the mind also. Because when she walked into the market, on the way she overstep of the mat, she was not fully aware. There's maybe concentration there, but awareness is absent there. There's not proper awareness. Otherwise, he could not step over the mat of someone to disturb some meditations. So it means dharana, this dharana, we must what to do? We say, Anande Mahati Prapte Drishtima Bandhate Chirat. Anandamu Gatam Dhatma Talava Stamana Bhavet. Merging the mind that. But in my understanding, if I read now and discuss with all of you, it is very interesting. Even we are one-pointedness, for example, that girl walk all the way to the running to the market, she maybe have the concentration to believe to meet her beloved. That is one-pointedness. But we need to also develop the awareness. We suppose not unconsciously and walk all the way. We suppose not ignore all the way. We need to aware and conscious every steps we walk or run to meet our beloveds. If we are not aware every steps to our goal of the joy, then we disturb to others. But at the same time, we can be disturbed by others as well. So it means one has to totally aware with the clarity of the mind, with one-pointedness. Clarity mind means with the awareness, with the conscious of your every steps, or every, when she was walking or running to her beloved, is fine, it's nice to concentrate. She could not see nothing. on the way, but she has to see everything on the way as well. If she was clear and clarity of the mind is there, the clarity of the consciousness is there, she could not overstep of that man. Okay, that man is disturbed, that different things. He was also one-pointedness, but he can easily also disturbed by someone. That means, so disturbance is there. That means a person have no balance of the energy as well. But the girl have the one-pointedness, but no awareness on the way. She was not disturbed by that man, but she can disturb to others. The man was concentrated. He was not disturbed by others, but he was disturbed by others. So both are incorrect for the meditations. So this dharana is showing, if we are meditate, we supposed to develop awareness. Neither we create the problem for others, not get the problem from others. Both sides. That means we must meditate in such a way we should not face any obstacles, and we should not create the obstacles for the others. That expands of the consciousness. Such kind of consciousness we can reach only the supreme consciousness. It means when we are joyful, so naturally we are not aware of nothing, not conscious at all, nothing. So here, they say that one-pointedness means to reach that joyful, we must be conscious, we must be aware, we must clarify the mind, if I am understand correct. If you are disturbed to others and you are disturbed by others, then how can reach your goal? How can reach yourself? Just have cross questions. Jania?
Yes, I'm thinking. Because the translation says, when great joy is obtained through any event such as meeting with relatives, one should meditate on that with one-pointedness until the mind becomes absorbed and the bliss ever arises. So any event that can be joyful, concentrate on it and to wait until the bliss arises more and more. But then it could be anything. Then, like Linus is saying, then watching the TV and dancing and singing is not meditation. But as far as I understand from this sutra, it could be. It could be a meditation too. It's just a matter of the consciousness already of the person, in case it's not evolved yet and you're just watching the TV. Of course, you will be maybe concentrated on that, but you will forget yourself. But as soon as you don't forget yourself and you are in this joyful experience that you have, then your bliss will arise more.
Exactly, that's what I mean. So this sutra says that you should not forget yourself. Because of joy, you forget yourself. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The sutra say that, so what I mean, that joyful one can reach as a bliss and you can reach your goals. But if there is, you not forget yourself. So it's vice versa. You can enjoy yourself. You can enjoy that joy with your friends. In case, if you not forget yourself. And to forget, not to forget yourself, you need to have one-pointedness consciousness. But here saying that the concentrations you have, but one-pointedness consciousness not there. Two different things. She was concentrated, but no awareness of the self. So if somebody awareness of the self, then person can enjoy. So one-pointedness, what does that mean actually? One-pointedness means when you are unity with yourself, the mind becomes observed and the bliss ever arises. But how can mind is observe? So therefore, the final what do you read that? What they speak? The dharana enables the mind to transcend the objective from and other to dimensions of the experience. That experience purely is subjective because it takes place in the absence of any object. As explained earlier, an experience without the aid of the senses objects is only possible through an expanded mind. The only such a mind can experience unity. Again, you see that what they say finally? And explained earlier, the experience without the aid of sense and objects is only possible. Means no sense, means no mind has to be there, no object has to be there, then only you can experience the real bliss. Forget that. We go to very simple examples. For example, you meditate on candle lights. So what happened? Candle lights is a concentration. Like you say that the children watching the television, concentration is there. Right? The one-pointedness seems that like this also one-pointedness, but concentration there. But still there is objectives. Still there the sense, still there the mind. So you have to meditate such a way, you have to go beyond the senses, beyond objective and subjectives. You see the last paragraph, and they say that, so they say that unity, experience unity. What does that mean? Experience unity means experience with yourself. Because every sutras, the goal is to reach the supreme consciousness. If I understand correctly, began by sutras. You know, every sutra talk about you meditate, you do dharana on these sutras, you reach the super consciousness of Shiva. So in my understanding, even you meeting your friends, meeting your relatives, you should not be extreme. Like this girl was extreme to reach her beloved, but forgetting herself. So that is the emotions. See, meeting her friends is called emotions. An emotion does not make you also the bliss. Without awareness. Like the children, they're watching the television is emotions, nothing else. But is they happy? Is there enter into enlightenments? Is there a touch unity with themselves? Like we drinking bottle of alcohol, we are also very happy. We are very joyful. Does that take a bottle of alcohol to enlightenments? Answer is that. Like for example, you meditate. What do you do? You observe the peace, the happiness, whatever happening within yourself. Right? So in my understanding, this sutra also will explain later. I'll check the other commentaries, other books. But in my understanding, one should meditate on that with one-pointedness until the mind becomes absorbed and the bliss ever arises. You see that when you study this sutra, you have this book began with Tantra, right, Janya? Okay. So if you ready, then 254 Sutra, you see, very interesting that they say that just to read one sentence. It's saying, if as if it were actually taking place right at that moment, leads to the total observation and highlighted inner awareness. In this elevated state, the conscious is altered and different dimensions of the existence reveal themselves to the aspirant. Means a person who meditate. Different dimensions. Elevated state, the consciousness. The kind of observation in the memory of joy is illustrated by the following story. But anyway, if you read a little bit before that, in the previous dharana, the focus was on the memory of the union. Here it is on the memory of joy. In fact, now it is becoming clear that remembrance of any intense experience with the clarity, and again, this is clarity one-pointedness, right? They not speak about concentration, but the clarity of the mind, the one-pointedness. Clarity, you understand, like the children, they're watching television, but there's no clarity of the mind, not clarity of the consciousness. They may have one point at conscious, but here they speak of clarity of the mind, means the expanse of the consciousness. You can enjoy with your joy, you can enjoy with your friends, you can enjoy with all kind of sensual enjoyments, in case there is clarity of the mind, clarity of the consciousness. Then you are with yourself, but at the same time you can enjoy all kind of enjoyments. Otherwise, you are disturbed by others, and you can reach the final goals. So here we need the common sense or awakening of the viveka. By meditating ourselves, then you can enjoy all our joyfulness in our life, in our sansaric life, in our life of samsara, if I understand correctly this. Same thing what we study in Yoga Sutras. Once you are master of yourself, you can enjoy everything. Right? Let we shall a little bit discuss. We have to homework. I'll also a little bit to homework to this. This sutra we can. I'll check in other authors and commentaries. But tomorrow we have Vedanta and some Upanishads. We'll check that, or maybe we continue this sutra. So I'll check it. But I'll go to the different authors. But I'm clear that one way. The story say that she was not totally aware, but she was only concentrated. As Lino say that, as the children want to watch television, the concentration is there, but not awareness of the self. If awareness of the self there, then a person can enjoy everything. By knowing yourself, you can enjoy everything. If you don't know yourself, then you can enjoy everything. Then you disturb